Nicky got me rolling, got me shaking, got me aching, got me twitching, got me snitching, got me making a fuss. Nicky got me bowled over, got me over his shoulder, got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, oh, Nicolas Cage, he's an international treasure of ours, yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Nicolas Cage, International Treasure, the only podcast that we know of that goes through every single one of Nicolas Cage's 200 odd films. What is it, 150?
No, there's 200. I thought it was 200 odd.
Let's have a look. We should probably know that.
Yeah,
I'm joined here yet again by Kieran,
hello,
Daniel,
Bonjour.
and for the first time in many moons, our other host, Squeaky McPete.
That's me.
How are you doing, Squeak?
You know what? It's been rough. The chemo's been really hitting me.
For your ball cancer.
Ball, prostate, pretty much everything below the waist.
No, not your... Oh, I thought you meant like your rubber ball that you carry about has cancer that you do your party tricks on.
No, it's
That
stage 4.
Your... Well, I think we'll say goodbye to Squeaky Pete for now and say hello to John.
Hello. It's good to be back. You know, it has been a while.
At least 114.
You somehow... Oh, I'll save that for the other one. 114.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way less.
I know.
It's not going to be long. It's only 2 years.
Like another 30 and he will have gone over... He will have taken over Anthony Hopkins.
Is that a Guinness World Record?
No, the most movies of any actor has been in is... Oh, he's got a long way to go. Up at the top we've got Eric Roberts.
Yes.
The older brother of Julia Roberts and his daughter Emma Roberts. Eric Roberts has 666 acting credits.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
Who?
Eric Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Should we be doing the podcast about this guy?
Probably.
He's been in The
That's
Dark
take
Knight,
ages.
Yeah.
Pinkville,
The other one won't.
The Expendables, Lovelace, and Inherent Vice.
The Expendables. That's the one with Mr. Incredible.
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
He's currently filming a whopping 20 movies with a jaw-dropping 38 in post-production. He must be fucking
Does he just live on the Hollywood lots?
His residuals must
He's not even an actor. He just sort of mooches about.
Yeah.
And manages
How annoying
to
He
be
keeps
in
getting
films.
roped in.
How
because
annoying
he's
would it
stealing
be
from the fucking
that your younger sister's only been in
buffet
68
table?
films and she's like one of the most well-known actors in
Well,
Hollywood?
you know what they say about quality over quantity.
This is true.
It
Danny
doesn't mean a thing.
Trejo's
If
sitting
it
at
ain't got that swing.
420.
He does a lot. He does do a lot. Anyway, who else does a lot is the one and only Nicolas Cage.
Played by John Travolta in this film.
Yes, indeed. This film being the 1997 box office smash
Smash!
Face Off. Directed by John Woo. Written by Mike Verb and Michael
Adjective.
Colleary. Starring Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, Joan Allen, and Alessandro Nivola.
Alessandro.
Synopsis is strokey facey over and over till Nicky realizes he's the real Pappy.
That is the one thing I took from this movie is I'm just going to start going up people and every time I just as a sign of affection I'm just going to go and stroke their face. There's a term of endearment.
It's a good way to greet someone, I'd say.
Yeah.
Who do you think came up with that?
John Travolta.
Probably.
I think it's a thing he just does it anyway.
He
It seems
wanted-
like a thing that he would do.
Well,
He wanted to give
I think
Nic Cage something weird to do.
it could have been a Nic Cage thing that he did already, because I understand John Travolta and Nicolas Cage spent a great deal of time together before the
I
film.
believe they did as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read up on that as well. Yeah.
Well, one of you, come on.
Well, no, that's basically the whole thing.
No, they stayed
hung
together.
out.
They got they stayed in a house in it was like
actors
Arizona or something like
roommates.
that. They just stayed in a house together for like 2 months and learned each other's like habits and.
I know John
Fair
Travolta
enough.
took some sort of offence initially at Nic Cage's portrayal of Sean Archer in this film.
Yeah. Well, originally, it wasn't even meant to be those two. It was meant to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. But then the what's his face? When John Woo came in to direct it, he changed it to John Travolta.
Who was directing it originally?
It does not say.
Fantastic.
Google has failed us.
Probably
It would have been
John
Sylvester
Travolta.
Stallone directing it.
Well, if you haven't seen this film, which is possibly likely,
It's a pretty well known.
it's a well-known
Film.
It's a
film.
Like
very,
most peop-
very long film.
Most
for the
people
era.
that don't know much of Nick's work will know Face Off.
Well, at least heard of it. It's a film in which FBI investigator, anti-terrorist unit Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, is tracking down this terrorist,
Castor Soto.
Castor Troy.
Who's Castor Soto?
I don't know. Who has assassinated John Travolta's son in the past by accident, although he should have aimed for his
Shot
head.
him while he was on a merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round, and John Travolta stroked his child's face. Basically, John Travolta kills Castor Troy, or puts him in a coma, and then to discover where the bomb is hidden, he needs to swap faces and bodies with John Travolta in the classic whodunit.
Castor Soto is a character from. Have you seen Episodes?
Yes,
Yeah, he's a character from Episodes.
where they talk about Matt LeBlanc's huge penis.
Yes.
It does have a very, not to talk about episode.
No, that's a hook.
But back to the movie. The beginning of the movie where Nicolas Cage is in the fucking he's planted the
Thicker
bomb.
outfit.
Yeah, that's one of the various memes you can see.
Oh yeah, the grabbing the ass and throwing his head back and going,
Head banging to some nice religious music.
Hallelujah.
Very good scene. But this film, you can tell, must have had a massive fucking budget because of just all the over the top shit that goes like fight scenes aren't just slow like shootouts. They are like Michael Bay type of fucking explosions every 2 goddamn seconds.
They crash an airplane into a hangar, which doesn't top Airplane crashing an airplane into an airport in the opening scenes at the very start. Which may have just been a
Have any
miniature.
of you seen the sequel to Airplane?
No.
I nearly made a joke.
There is an Airplane 2.
Yeah,
It's not as good.
probably not.
Yeah, it did.
But also,
You Google it about.
Nah, I just nearly made a joke there that probably would have got me cancelled. But I held back.
I'm sorry, we don't have enough fans to get cancelled.
You don't know, we've got 2
Nah,
followers on Twitter.
Someone. How many?
Huh?
2.
I thought you said 200 there. I was like that.
They haven't even put in an
Who?
episode.
But are the followers?
Scott, his girlfriend.
Oh,
I was about to say,
I put a
what
tweet-
relation
did
are the followers to us?
I can tell you what our first tweet was. It was put out at 1 in the morning. And it was
1 in the morning.
It was
do we even have a profile picture?
Was it in Prague?
No, it was last week. I couldn't sleep. It's we have one tweet, and it is a quote from Nicolas Cage.
Oh, it's not even. The photo isn't even an egg. It's just a blank.
I'm working on it. Right? It takes time.
You can put anything up there.
It's a quote from our saviour. He said this in an interview a while ago.
I'm not a demon. I'm a lizard, a shark. I hate Seeking Panther. I want to be Bob Denver on acid playing the accordion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's our one tweet.
Beautiful.
Thank
That is
you.
our Lord and Saviour.
Praise up, Papa Nick. Yeah.
We were talking about Airplane 2.
yeah, Airplane 2. It's like it has all of the same things.
Is
that
that
the
not just
Airplane one
Spaceball?
good.
Is Airplane 2 not just Spaceballs?
No. The Airplane movie did get a sequel with a lot of continuing characters, but it's just, as I said, it's a very similar film, but it's worse.
If there's any film that doesn't need a sequel, it's that one because
It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a parody.
And Leon's getting larger.
You ever been to Turkish prison?
You ever seen a grown man naked?
But
Would you like to?
you know who I haven't seen naked?
Nicolas Cage.
No,
Not
I've
yet,
seen him
anyway.
naked. John Travolta. Have I
I
seen
feel
John
like you
Travolta?
probably could somewhere.
Probably have seen him.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
That's some.
Every time I see the, although don't get me wrong, he's a good actor. But every time I see his face, I just think of the big woman from Hairspray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only every time I see his face. I can't think of
How
his
the
name.
mighty had fallen.
Yeah,
Weird.
Moose. Was that the film John Travolta did recently?
Moose.
I don't know. I haven't watched anything. Like the only film I've seen John Travolta was in was Face Off
Yeah,
Was
she's
it
Hairspray.
Pulp Fiction.
and Pulp Fiction.
There you go. Saturday Night Fever.
No,
Grease.
I have seen Grease.
See, the lies
I didn't know he was in
spiraled.
it. Yeah, he was younger then.
He did a film recently. I think it was called Moose, or he played someone called Moose, where he played a stalker or someone with developmental difficulties, and it was a bad performance. Apparently, very bad. But I didn't see it, so I don't know why I'm talking about it.
It's not. I've not found John Travolta naked, but you know he's in a film called Wild Hogs.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And there's a scene in Wild Hogs where they've basically stopped for the night. The tent has been burnt down due to a marshmallow, and then
Dr. Cox from Scrubs.
Well, funnily enough, I am seeing Dr.
Dr.
Cox's
Cox's
cock
cock.
right now. It's someone that has been passing
See?
the
Come on,
filming.
don't hold this all to yourself. Oh fuck!
Someone has been obviously passing, and while they were filming that scene, Dr. Cox plays a police officer that thinks that they're bikers that fuck each other in the ass after a long ride.
Yes.
And he's wanting involved and gets
Wanting
naked
some
in the
action.
pool. And it's
Isn't that Woody Allen? Not Woody Allen.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence, William H. Macy. It's actually a fucking.
And
It's
Steve
one of my comfort films. I really like
I
Wild
haven't
Hogs.
seen it though. But
I like it. Like, people shit on Wild Hogs. Like
pretty
Ricky
bad.
Ricky Gervais, Ricky Gervais shat on it at the Golden Globes one year, but I kind of like it. It's got a bit of charm.
You're allowed to. Yeah, but you will be judged.
I will be judged heavily, but
You'll
do you know
be
what? It's a
waved,
trash film. But
And
do you know
you've
who
been
also
found
is?
wanting?
But who also is in that film is Ray Liotta, and anything that's in that's got Ray
That's
Liotta in
in
it
Ray
is good
Liotta.
in my book.
Anything in really
R.I.P.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, he
Really, it was
died this
dead.
year or that last year.
Yeah. No, it was this year. Fucking sucks, man.
Well, to talk
Did
about
Nicolas
the film,
Cage get a chance to act with Ray Liotta?
I don't think so.
find out. This is all research. we
You're on
should
the
have done.
research desk, yeah.
Yeah. But Face Off, a classic film in the Nicolas Cage canon.
Fun fact: that film is 2 hours and 18 minutes long.
I didn't think I enjoyed it. I did think the very end where
Oh,
everyone's
I'm sorry.
is it?
I'm
is it
sorry.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Ah, right, you guys keep talking. I'm
Um,
gonna go for my my appointment.
So at the very end, there's the bit where they've all fucking realised that each one is each other, and like
There's a speedboat shit. There's like
Yeah.
a speedboat shit.
and Nicolas Cage is John Travolta is fuck John Travolta's wife, and like they're all there's a really Nathan pointed this out when we were watching it. There's a really unnecessary speedboat chase that is clearly
I love it.
It's clearly like they ran out of budget. Oh no, not ran out of budget. They have extra money and they've went, you know what? We can keep this going for a little bit. Here's 2 speedboats. Just go around and chase each other.
Just really.
However, there's the one problem I have with this film. You know how when you've got stunt doubles, you make them look like exactly like the actor. So if there's a scene very similarly, so you can be like, okay, that is so and so, and you can distinctly make it who's who. This film, if you pause on the stunt actors, not even pause, just watch very closely, you can clearly see that none of them look like the actor. It's like they've got 2 other actors to come in with different coloured hair, different body shape, and even height wise, and they've just thrown them on a boat and went, "Yous can do it."
The guy that's John Travolta, the stunt double, is black.
The guy that's John Travolta. John Travolta's a big guy. The guy who's his stunt double is a skinny guy who's probably twice the size of him.
I love watching shit. I love finding shit like that. Like in the old James Bond, films. I'm pretty sure it was like Pussy Galore was flying a plane, and then it
Yeah,
cuts
it's
to a
in the
far
first
shot.
Bond
And it's a guy in a wig. It's a
all
guy in a
three-
wig.
No, it's like there's a troop of female pilots. They're all blonde and they're all flying planes. But then when they land the planes, it's just a bunch of guys with beards and wigs. You know, like park the fucking. There's another great scene in the first Bond film where they're filming a car with Bond in it come up to park, and you can just clearly see the camera crew in the window of the car, just reflected back at him. Oh, it's fucking beautiful.
But that's what it's like in the film. The whole film, the stunt doubles, it's like they just went, it's fine, we'll fix it later. And no one ever fixed it. They didn't decide to cut scenes out where you can clearly see the stunt double's face and go, it's not Nicolas Cage.
No.
John's giving me some of his body pillow.
Aww.
That's not an innuendo.
It's not an innuendo.
He's got his big pillow on your shoulder.
He does. It's resting here.
Do you know the thing, like the big complaint about this film that I've got that Nick himself has is that they changed way too early in the film for my liking. I would have liked to have seen Nick play Castor for just a bit
Actually, that's
longer.
a good point. You say they spent all this time trying to learn each other's mannerisms and stuff, but like they swap faces early enough in the film that doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, they've basically not had enough time to sort of establish.
Yeah. You need at least
the
as much
characters.
time establishing the behavior of the characters as them
Yeah.
as their original characters, and then the swap,
Yeah.
so you actually see a difference, and then them trying not to make a difference, rather than how they did it, which was just
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so the
half
people
an
at
hour.
home might be wondering why the fuck they're changing in the first place. So it's because there is a bomb in the city.
Yes.
There's a bomb, and Sean Archer, John Travolta's character, has to be surgically changed to go into prison to get the location of the bomb from Castor's brother. And you think, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta have very different body types, but oh no, it's not just the face they can change. It's the body as well. But oh, they've got different voices. But oh no, they can change their voices too to make them sound. They've thought of everything.
It's just very convenient.
The-
Technology's not explained.
And
It's-
dick size.
And it doesn't need to be.
They
You know,
changed
it's-
their dicks.
Huh?
They changed their dicks.
Of course.
At that
they'd
point, they
have
might as
to.
well just swap the brains. Because it's sounding like a very traumatic surgery.
That's
that-
true,
for the
yeah.
recovery
Why-
time.
why-
No, they just had a wee red laser that went round their face and just.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, but
It's
you
easy.
can't transport the soul, John. And you need to keep the soul. Or would the soul
Is this some kind of
die?
Theseus ship bullshit?
Who?
Mm.
Theseus' ship. It's a thought experiment
Yeah.
from Greek literature.
Theseus the ship.
Theseus' ship.
Why is he a shit?
Okay, it's basically if you replace every component on a ship, is it still the same ship?
Oh, I see
No.
what you mean.
Yeah, that's the name of that thing.
No.
No. But if you do it gradually enough,
No. Theseus, no. Oh, I see what you mean, because the plank that was replaced early on would be a part of that main bit. No.
I never thought
I mean,
I'd
it's the
say
same
this,
thing
but
with a
it
person,
seemed.
because gradually a person will replace every single
Every
cell in
single
their body.
cell.
Except
I never
Yeah,
thought.
but a person has memory, and a ship doesn't have memory.
You don't know that.
I do.
Are you some kind of ship
I beat a
psychic?
ship.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but it turns out that there's a joke made about a Greek thought experiment in Only Fools and Horses. Because one of the characters, Trigger, he's been a road sweeper all his life, and he got a medal for his services to the community, and he's like, I've had this same broom for 30 years. And in its time it said 25 new heads and 15 new handles. And they're like, how the hell's it's the same bloody broom then? But that's
the same
interesting.
point.
That's the same point. I like that.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the highbrowest that Only Fools and Horses will ever be.
It's the sentimentality of the broom.
It's
You
the
trick
concept.
yourself into thinking that.
Is a
it's
broom simply a broom, or is it a state of mind? Is it a?
Are we all not brooms?
Mm-hmm.
Just
If you replaced everything on
on
a
the
human,
dusty
is it the
floor
same
of-
human?
Existence.
of reality, sweeping up the entrails of.
And yet, We are not the ones sweeping. We are the ones being swept.
We are the swept.
Because we're brooms.
From the moment we are born, we are swept
Anyway.
to the grave.
Face off. Someone swept to the grave is none other than Sean Archer, aka Castor Troy, in Sean Archer's body, who dies at the end.
After he threatens to cut up his, or does he cut up his face?
He does,
yeah.
for no fucking reason, because if they can swap an entire body, they can repair a little scratch.
I have a little thing annoyance about this, right? So when John Travolta becomes Nicolas Cage,
yes,
and then so Nicolas Cage then wakes up with without a face in a bed. And then it does the whole thing where you don't get to see his gruesome face, you see him as blah blah blah, and he basically gets turned into John Travolta, and he kills the only man that can do this transplant or do this. Then the movie they kind of just gloss over that and well, we've flown in some guys from out state. They can do it for you in
this
seconds.
man was working on the same
Are there
technology.
multiple people in the US?
But the whole premise was it was just this one
There's
guy,
one guy
that
that developed this
dies at the
technology.
beginning
and then destroys the machinery that is used to do the surgery.
Yeah, and then just
But no, there's some guy he can be anywhere. It's
He's out
not
of state.
portable.
He's out of state, so there's not a problem anymore.
We were discussing this when we watched it about how, given that Sean Archer's wife is essentially raped by Castor Troy,
Yes.
and she will now forever see John Travolta's body as this other thing, and will have no basis in reality of what is real and what's not. There is no possible way that they are staying together.
No, there's not.
After this, when
He brings
After
in
they've just adopted a child as
with
well.
no prior.
who's the son of Nicolas Cage's horrific killer that killed their son.
Yeah.
And John Travolta's like, this is our new son. And he brings it in and they're like,
And then they stroke his face.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I love you, Dad, you're back. Blah, blah, blah. John Travolta's face just is another man that had sex with his wife and then tried to not kill his daughter, but kind of fucked up his daughter slightly in a traumatic way. And they're like, Dad, you're back. It was some therapy is needed.
Yeah, but everything's fine though because it's Hollywood, and that's okay. It's fictive. I mean,
Hollywood
we shouldn't really
happy.
be hung out on logistics when they swap an entire body around through science.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the nice cameo that was in this though? Max Payne was in this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
As
men
in the-
jumping over things
So-
and
As
jumping.
in the game character.
Yeah, in the scene where
as in
Mark Nicolas Cage as John
Wahlberg.
Travolta as Nicolas Cage is in the
played
apartment
Max Payne.
of all the criminals, and the police, instead of just getting one sniper to shoot him through a load of windows, line up a bunch of men with police officers with machine guns. There's a child in the room, and they open fire, and they all just go swing in, which we'll get to in a second. But there is one criminal.
Because collateral damage isn't a problem.
There's one
with
criminal
the police
in
force
this apartment who is
film.
running around shooting people.
No.
Who every scene he is in is doing some sort of Max Payne over
Jump,
the top, jump across tables.
roll.
He's a maverick. What can we say? He's a maverick.
Everyone's just running around there doing their whole normal shooting, and in the back corner you just see this man full on dolphin dive over a table while shooting a machine gun, or he'll do like a backflip or fucking just jump across, and it takes away from the whole scene because all I can look at is this man going, oh shit, there's Max Payne in the background.
Did he have a speaking role?
No.
Exactly. So he's an extra. He's turned up for the set fees. Like, I'm getting my fucking money's worth in this film. He's like, he's speaking to the stunt guys, and he's like, I'm going to do a backflip in this bit, and they're like, no, we kind of just want you to run in there and shit. He's like, nah, fuck you. So he just does it, and he does it in every fucking take. to which John Woo is just like, fucking use it.
Reminding you, has anyone seen the new Lord of the Rings TV show yet?
I stayed away from it.
No.
There's the extras in that show are bellissimo because they you could tell they haven't really been paid much, and they're really trying to get the camera's attention on
They're pretty much just Lord of the Rings. They've definitely answered a fucking casting call from the Stage magazine. They're just they're massive fans of Lord of the Rings. They're like, I've read Tolkien every year from my life.
I don't know. It's just watch the show yourself. But I watched up to halfway through the 4th episode and I ducked out. But
Might watch it when I get home.
Extra work is always beautiful to watch because they're really trying. So we were talking about stuntmen when we were watching it, here, and about how stuntmen, to get regular work, or you have to appear in work for a total of like 2.5 minutes. But obviously stuntmen are barely on screen for half a second. So the amount of work you need to do as a stuntman, especially in this film, they probably had quite a lot of work in this film because a lot of it's stunts. But still, you're only racking up a minute total maybe per film, like in shot time and on screen, and actually make it into the movie.
Also, I want to know how you get into that line of work.
Once upon a time in Hollywood.
But how do you grow up and know that when I'm older I want to get purposely hit by cars?
There's a school for everything, probably.
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'd imagine so. Because can you imagine how much that shit has to be insured for? How many people how many times during their day could they potentially die?
Well, the thing is that, like, the stuntman is trending towards becoming less and less important.
CGI.
Yeah, CGI and, like, robotics.
I mean,
I think
the thing that proves that we still need stunt people is that scene from Black Panther where Killmonger and Black Panther are having a fight where there's trains and shit. It is the worst CGI I've seen in my life, and that's like I'm including the Hobbit in that.
Oh god,
it was fucking bad.
The Hobbit CGI wasn't bad. It was just
Shiny.
this weird fucking thing they did where they like almost sped up everything by just like a couple of frames a second or something. Just a tiny bit, so it was so like uncanny valley. John stool in the body pillow.
It's not
I know.
Maybe on your birthday.
What I just really didn't like is that Peter Jackson pretty much just shat on all the work that he'd done with Lord of the Rings, like because they'd spent so much time creating a really, really dark, horrible looking world. And then in The Hobbit, there's just all these shiny looking fucking orcs.
Who would Nicolas Cage play in the Lord of the Rings universe?
Gandalf.
Really?
Yeah.
Or Aragorn. I like him as Aragorn.
I mean, he'd be good in any role. Pick a role.
Gollum.
Legolas.
He'd make a good.
He'd be good at all.
Nah, he'd be Wormtongue.
Nah.
No.
He'd be perfect as Wormtongue.
No.
Surely.
We can't sideline him like that.
Well, Wormtongue's a really important role.
Yeah, he has to be.
Well, yeah, if you include the whole shit that happens in the Shire, like they didn't do in the film.
Battle of the Shire.
Yeah, the Battle of the Shire and getting fucking.
We're getting nerdy this episode. It's not really nerdy anymore, is it?
No, it's mainstream now.
It's pretty cool.
What's classed as nerdy now? Or are nerds cool?
Coding.
Anime.
I'd say anime.
Anime, yeah, probably.
If it comes from Japan, it's nerdy.
Yeah.
Has Nicolas Cage ever done dub for anime?
He was in G-Force.
It's not anime.
It's animated.
It's animation, but it's not anime, is it?
I heard his voice in some top quality hentai the other day.
Did you redub it?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
You a big titty goth girl.
I'm Nick Cage senpai!
Love me, senpai. Notice me. Notice me, senpai.
Senpai.
I love you.
I love you.
What else is nerdy? I mean, Dungeons and Dragons.
Probably
nerdy.
watching every single Nicolas Cage film and then doing an entire
this is
podcast
definitely
about
nerdy.
it.
We haven't been ranking them. Should we be ranking them? People love a ranked list, don't they?
Well, what have we done?
They love ranked lists.
Get the
Top
list of-
10 Nicolas Cage films
Get the
you've
list
never
of-
heard of.
Get the list of what
Number
we've done
1,
so far.
Face Off.
Right.
And are we
Number 2, Face Off.
Are we ranking them by him in it? Because some
Yes,
of them
his
look-
performance.
We're on number 10, so we can technically do a top 10.
a top 10 so
But
far.
the thing is, some of them he hasn't
we
appeared
probably
in a
should have
great
prepared
deal.
this. Shall we pause and come back with our own top 10 lists?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Join us in a little bit to talk more about nothing to do with Nicolas Cage. I
And
don't
that
need to say
bit
this.
will be...
What are you waiting for? Nicolas Cage films, top 10 of 10. Also, someone left their phone next to the audio interface, so there's really annoying buzzing. Sorry. Performance. I think, we're all on the same page pretty much. Okay, announcer.
Number 10.
Kieran.
Kill Chain.
Daniel.
Kill Chain.
Yep, Kill Chain here as well.
It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It will be at the very bottom by the end of
The
this.
worst film.
And Nick, I'm sorry, man. You've been in some fucking doozies over the years. But Kill Chain is fucking terrible.
His acting wasn't bad, but the movie itself was more
It
of a
sucks.
cash
You
grab.
did what you did what you could.
It was very bad.
Oh, I just remember what Kill Chain was.
Yeah.
The hotel.
The one Jenny was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, because we didn't actually say, these are the films that we've watched so far on this podcast, which you will be able to tell if you've been listening or if you just look up the fucking list to the earliest episode.
We could put we could put our lists on Twitter.
Yes, we could.
We'll put our rankings on
Anything
Twitter.
for social media. Number 9.
Kieran.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Daniel.
Oh my god, I've got Sorcerer's Apprentice at 9.
I have the Ant Bully.
Oh, we're different.
Considering where I've got those, are very different.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't I took really nothing from the film. I can remember snippets. There's not much I can remember about it.
What was yours?
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It was just a shit Need for Speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch that over Need for Speed.
It was a fun
Because
film,
Gone in
but
60 Seconds does not have Vin Diesel in it.
it
And
was
that man is a...
reeked of the 90s.
Yeah, it
like
seems
just
more
too
of a-
much.
Took us back to simpler times.
Kinda.
I like the 90s,
A
man.
rainy day Sunday morning movie. That's when I'd watch it.
Some high some high octane shit right before you get into Antiques
Right
Roadshow and
right
Songs of
before-
Praise.
I'm
You
set up
watch
on
Gone in
his-
60
on his
Seconds.
armchair before the hearth. Just
Before I make brunch in the
Yeah,
afternoon,
Gone in 60
I'm watching Gone in 60 Seconds.
What was yours, Dan? Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Sorcerer's Apprentice. Like I know some people like it was in my range for films that I could have grown attached to. Like I was at the right age for that coming out, but it just didn't. It just didn't really do it for me, man.
Yeah, if there was nostalgia there, it probably would mean a bit more. Like Enchanted, which we didn't watch on another podcast.
You see the trailer
I
for the
fuck,
second one? Give it?
I fuck heavily with
Well,
Enchanted.
see, I didn't watch it when I was younger, so I think I didn't see
I
it.
want to see the trailer for the second one.
We'll show
I
you
fuck
later.
heavy with Enchanted. Enchanted is good.
Right.
And the Ant Bully, it
was bad.
It doesn't hold. I like our idea of having Nic Cage in real life prosthetics in that film, but everything else is animated. I remember us bringing that up on the podcast. If they remade it like that, it would be at the top of any list. But unfortunately not. Right.
Number 8.
Kieran.
The Ant Bully.
Okay.
G-Force.
Okay. I've got the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Not too dissimilar.
So yeah, well, you G-Force. G-Force is new. Why number 8 for G-Force?
I enjoyed it. I think it'll probably stay in like the same sort of place. I mean, I think by the end of the films it'll probably be in it'll be in the top half. Like it was it's trash, but I feel like it knew what it was. It's a kids film. It's not meant for me. I'd watch it again, but it's not like one of these things that I'd rush back to watch. Like I'll probably, if I've got nothing to do and I'm kicking about on an app, like a film watching app for a major corporation that I'm not going to mention on here
You
because
can say Hulu Plus.
no, I just thought is it still on Hulu after the company that made it? So I've taken everything off everything. I don't really want to give them any more clout than they've already got.
Kieran,
Because
you were the Ant Billy. You got anything else to add on that?
Not really. I was kind of on par with Gone in 60 Seconds, but I could watch it over Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Again, don't really remember much from what happened with it. It's not really. I remember, the only thing I really remember is the poster. Apart from that, I don't remember fuck all.
The poster.
I think I remember playing the PS2 game from the Emily.
Are you thinking of ants?
I automatically go to
Yes.
Grounded.
I'm thinking of ants.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. Grounded. We played a bit of that.
Yeah. I'd prefer to play that than watch this game.
Right.
You could play that 3.
Sorcerer's Apprentice. We covered it. It's if I, as Daniel said, if we had the nostalgia attached to it, probably enjoy it more. But
Next one, 7.
G-Force.
Ant Bully.
Ant Billy, and I've got Gone in 60 Seconds.
Wow.
That's fair, okay.
We've got some real similar ones down here at the bottom. They're looking like similar lists.
I feel like it's going to be similar to Gone.
Any further comments?
I mean,
Gone in
Ant
60
Bully, like,
Seconds. You know, I actually talking back through the bottom 3. I probably should have put it lower, but I mean, it's still in the bottom half of the list. So.
I did enjoy watching Ant Bully when I was younger, but it doesn't really hit for me now. I mean, I think the only thing that I liked about it was that Nick was sort of playing a bit of a shaman, and like Nathan said, if they redid it and it was just him that wasn't animated in really bad prosthetics, then that would make it.
It would have been beautiful. Don't look at my list. Keep your eyes off my list.
For G-Force, I have the nostalgia bit because I had it on DVD and I used to watch it all the time. But going back and rewatching it made me realise just how much I should not have enjoyed it. But again, I was a child, so it was kind of
Yeah, you get a pass for that.
yeah. But like I kind of went back to I enjoyed seeing it again and going through it because I didn't really remember much of the film. It's one of those films that when you've seen it years ago and you go through it and each scene comes on, you're like, oh shit, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that.
I will say the factoid that you had about Nick's voice in that, and the fact that is the voice that he uses when he speaks to him, when he's
In
like
G-Force.
angry at himself.
Yeah.
That is good. That's I like
that.
imagining Nic Cage as that. And if you don't remember that, maybe go back and listen to our episode on it.
Yeah, don't
on,
just start at
G-Force.
this. Don't start at this.
If
Go
you're
back
starting
and
at number 10. Go back maybe.
maybe share it on your socials.
Go
Tell your
back.
friends.
Find
The
watch-
quality is
watch
fairly
it.
consistent across them.
I don't know actually.
Right.
Right.
Number 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
Guarding Tess.
Oh, I thought that would have been higher. For
No.
you.
No.
I've got Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, okay.
Kieran.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, I enjoyed it. The Canadian guy in this is a camera, he's fucking
Jay Baruchel.
yeah, he annoys me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Pick
never,
up.
but I think it's he's kind
Fuck
of
How to Train Your Dragon. What was yours? Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
enjoyed it, but like it wasn't neither great nor bad. I would watch it if it was if it came on TV, see like Channel 5 or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably catch it then. Never run back to it, but I enjoyed it more than what I did the other films. Okay.
Guarding Tess.
Yeah.
Is that
I mean,
the one we did the 2-person episode for?
Yes, me and you watched it,
Yeah. And
but I was in somewhere, France. I believe
yeah, I
so.
think you were on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about
That
it.
was
being
like
two-part,
2-person
yeah.
where we talked about Gigi Allen.
We just sort of got free reign because we had no one telling us what was. So
No
we
one's
just sort of
allowed
go-
to tell us off.
No, but Garden Test was it was a good film, and they had like the two leads had good rapport between them. But I mean, Nick's acting like it was like the part it was nothing to really write home about. I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it.
Yeah.
But probably. It's not one of those films that I'd be like, oh my god, have you seen Guarding Tess?
Yeah.
We need to watch it right now. Whereas something like G-Force would be like, oh, you've not seen G-Force? Let's watch it. Okay. Even though G-Force is further down on the list, I'd watch G-Force over.
Yeah,
as a
quality
film-
as a film and actual enjoyment of the film are two different
Yeah,
things.
they're different things.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I think just because I've seen Dazed and Confused and stuff like that, and Breakfast Club and that, films that did coming of age a lot better than Fast Times at Ridgemont High did. It nullified it a bit. There's some fun stuff in it, and also Nic Cage is in it for all of 2 seconds total. Maybe 10
I didn't even
seconds.
notice the guy.
But to be fair, we'll leave that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Number 5.
Guarding Tess.
I've got Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I've got G-Force.
See, I like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. There is better coming of age movies, but I mean I've not seen like Dazed and Confused, but I've seen most of the John Hughes films like Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in Pink, all of that shit.
There's another one. My mate would know. There you go.
16 Candles, was that? Was that John
No,
Hughes
there was
one?
another. It was like a follow up to Breakfast Cunt.
Breakfast Cunt. That's what it was called. It was Breakfast Cunt. I enjoyed it. It was funny. Sean Penn was funny in it. The guy that played Charlie's dad in the Santa Claus movies was funny in it. There was breasts. I mean, it's but as far
15-year-old breasts.
all the actors were over the age of 18.
No, they weren't. Nicolas Cage wasn't. Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, he lied.
Nicolas Cage
His one iteration
Well,
of.
thankfully you didn't get.
Actually, no, it wasn't Nicolas Cage that was in that. It was
Nicolas
Nicholas.
Coppola?
It was Nicholas
Nicolas
Kim
Coppola.
Coppola that was in that film. It wasn't Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
It was just a guy that was trying to hop on the back of his more successful family members that thought I'll just use this name, and then after that he was like, that guy's dead. It's Nicolas Cage now.
Kieran, Garden Tess. Or sorry, something else.
Yeah, it was good test. I really much enjoyed it actually. Weird, like I thought the relationship between Nicolas Cage and whatever the fuck her face was, the woman who played Tess, was quite funny. The little conversation they were doing. I don't understand the whole point of the film, so I wouldn't understand getting to say this. Did bug me though.
Right.
The premise of the film, if you read the description of the film on the DVD and like online and shit, the whole plot is about Tess getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
That happens in the last 20 minutes.
Oh yeah,
of
the
the
last
film.
20 minutes of that film were
And
fucking
she gets-
octane
in the
fueled.
last 20 minutes, she gets kidnapped. They find her in a hole. It's done.
And as we said on our podcast, they wouldn't if you go back and listen, they wouldn't have been able to sell a bespoke fucking drama about an FBI agent and an ex-president's wife, first lady, and their relationship. But yeah.
So they had to sort of give away the fact that she gets kidnapped, even though it's the last 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah. And G-Force, it's fun. I like the mech at the end. I like the Sam Rockwell's the main character, right? Sam Rockwell's. Pretty sure it's Sam Rockwell playing the main guy.
It
Main
may
hamster.
very well be.
But it's fun and it's goofy. Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4, Kieran.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Daniel.
Never on Tuesday.
I've got Lord of War.
I don't agree with that.
Spite.
Rumblings from the balcony. My list not good enough for you. My
Nah.
list I spent all 3 minutes preparing.
Right, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I enjoyed it. It was Nicolas in it. Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Coppola. Only for a split second, I had to rewind to fucking find them. It was enjoyable. It was fun. I feel like it's one of those films that you would watch at like 2 in the morning if you're high off your tits.
Yeah, it's a Stone film.
It's a Stone film. That's what it is. It's not up there with like Breakfast Club and the original, like what you would expect from that kind of film.
Yeah.
But just the scenes alone with the teacher and the high student are pretty funny.
Yeah.
Everything,
yeah.
even the structure of the film's pretty good. It feels like it'd be if it was a Netflix series, it'd be like 12 parts and it'd be really fucking boring. That's how Netflix would do it now, but back it's done very well in the short period of time that it's
Very different Sean Penn character.
Yes.
Considering some of his other roles. There's also, it's like Brad Pitt. Didn't we watch something in a podcast we never did where Brad Pitt played a stoner character?
Oh.
What was the actor?
I don't fucking know. Possibly Amy Adams, maybe Johnny Depp, but he played a stoner, and he was an actor, and he was a stoner, and he was trying to make it, but he was in Los Angeles.
Was he young?
Once upon a time in
young Brad
Hollywood.
Pitt. No. He's a stuntman in that, but he doesn't really care about that.
Yeah, it's
No, this is young Brad Pitt. Plays. Fuck, what is it?
We're looking.
Who knows?
I mean, he's in a film called True Romance where it
Oh,
says
maybe
he's
it's
a- where
that.
it
Maybe
says
I'm
he's
just
a-
thinking of True
It
Romance.
says he's a stoner and that.
We didn't watch that. I just watched True Romance and thought we talked about it on the podcast. Maybe we did. Yeah, he plays a stoner in True Romance, which is Quentin Tarantino's first film that he wrote. Anyway, sorry. Fast Time for Richmond High. Good to watch while you're high.
Yes.
Never on Tuesday. You should definitely watch that.
Fuck yeah.
I really fucking enjoyed that.
Trash.
It's the first time you've piped up in a while, John.
It's trash.
I like that.
I could listen.
I
to
Never on Tuesday was great, and I'm a big fan of films that take place in just one spot and still managed to keep you engaged, like that Tom Hardy film where it's just in a car for the whole Lock. Yeah,
That's great.
I think films that are able to do that and still keep you engaged throughout, I think is great, and also
Lock is really good.
the sort of not like psychedelic, but just completely fucking out there weird sort of diversions from what's going on in the film. Just like
Oh, you see my list.
I didn't look. But like the dead rising and people
Yeah.
banging on a bed with ballerinas skipping around. It was just my type of weird. That film, I quite enjoyed it.
Good shit.
I'd watch it again, and also, it's another one of the films where Nick is barely in it, but he's memorable, and it's got Gilbert Gottfried. What more can you ask?
That's true.
Yeah.
Nick
And
Cage with a massive nose. Gilbert
Michael
Gottfried.
Sheen and the guy from the Breakfast Club. Lord of War is a good film technically, and the way it's told, it's plotted, its writing's good. Jared Leto pisses me the fuck off in that film.
Yeah, but he gets shot. It's fine.
Yeah, he does. I don't mind Jared Leto as an actor sometimes. I think he's quite good
I
sometimes.
think he's better when
but-
he gets killed in films.
But in that film, he annoyed me. Also, I felt maybe it was a bit on the nose politically. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not.
Some of those films are good films, though.
Yeah.
I mean, is The Big Short considered a political film?
It's not really on the nose.
That's more financial. Big Shot's financial.
I know it's financial, but it is a commentary on
Yeah.
events that happen. You know.
That's true.
Uh,
That's a good film.
yeah. Or is it
Yeah,
War
but
Machine?
I
Was
think-
that one about the leader of Afghanistan?
Doesn't he a Marvel character? I think the thing with The Big Short though, is The Big Short knows that it's not taking itself really seriously, and like it has those diversions where they get like complex financial things explained by like Margot Robbie in a hot tub.
Yeah, they break it up. But
So
it
it's
is,
like, there is a lot of fourth
there is
wall
some
breaking.
very
in that.
serious moments in the film, I think. Like the slow realization of the characters when they're investigating the mortgage giving people, that they're giving it away to anyone. They slowly realize that, oh shit, the whole economy's gonna
This bubble's
go.
about to burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was a very serious moment. It just felt like... Sorry. Yeah.
No, you go.
No.
Didn't mean to interrupt
There you
you.
go. No, it's fine. Don't worry. Keep going.
We'll just
And
have
I'm
a
so-
moment of silence here.
And I'm
Number
so-
3!
Yeah, there you go. Fuck. Shit. Oh, dick. Never on Tuesday.
Never on Tuesday. Number 3.
Face Off.
I have Garden Tess.
Fair. Like I don't disagree with that. Like I think Garden Test is
Right, though.
Garden Test is a good film. I've just I don't know. Like in terms of like just the memory from other things, I think just takes it over. I think it sort of gets lost in the ridiculousness of the other films.
I like Nicolas Cage's more calm performance in it.
Yeah.
I like his he's holding himself back. In Garden Tess,
Yeah, I mean, they're still pretty...
yeah, there's some
Cage
mad
is-
moments, but generally he's quite.
Yeah, I know.
with
Also, he has to
films.
fit inside the context of the film.
Yeah, and that's good to see because he can be so mad and wild.
Yeah.
And you don't always want to see Nic Cage like that. You want to see him being able to fit to a director because it's not all about him in every film. Like, it can be, and he can bring it, like in Vampire's Kiss and all that. He makes that film. But in a film like Garden Tess, he shows that he's able to fit the film. As well as be mad and maverick and all
And
that.
is and he doesn't overshadow the other actor, because try and name any other actor in Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think.
they're
I
all
can't.
quite small
Like,
names.
I mean, they're small names, but the characters are so unmemorable because you're just focusing on this guy that's running down the street screaming, "I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!" But in Garden Test, like, they fit together really well, and they have good rapport, and it's funny. It's an FBI. Is it the FBI? Well, the Secret Service. It's a Secret Service agent who doesn't want to be there, who has to sort of get along with this belligerent old lady, and it's funny. It's a funny, sort of heartwarming film.
Maybe I just like it because we were able to take control of the podcast for that episode.
Probably.
Yeah,
yes.
maybe.
Never on Tuesday.
Never on Tuesday. I know it's not number one, but I'm going to highly recommend it to fucking everyone and anyone.
See, that's a film definitely. I'd be like, "Have you seen Never on Tuesday?" And everyone's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, and then they see me accessing on YouTube, and they think, "Okay, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be it."
In my workplace, I have recommended it to goddamn everyone. And I explained it. Our guest that was meant to be here tonight, who is now coming next week, and he's bringing a friend. He was meant to be here tonight. Yeah, fucking dick. He's meant to be here tonight, but he's not feeling well, so he's coming next week instead. At his place of residence, I showed him and his friends and his lovely girlfriend. I made them sit and watch the 2-second scene that Nicolas Cage is in with no context behind it. And I was like, you just have to watch this film. And even in work, when I'm telling people work, I'm like, after we watched, I was like, you need to sit and watch this film. It's, even though he's in it for a fucking little bit, hence why it's not first. I did have that prejudice in my head that, like, I can put the film there number one because he's not in it for long. But if you're in it for longer, but then his wee snippet of him and the fake nose in the sports car, just fucking.
It's fascinating because he's in it for all of 45 seconds.
Yes.
And but you think about him so much throughout the film and these recurring characters, like he has an impact. And another actor who we didn't do a podcast about, Viola Davis, her in Doubt, she's in it for 10 minutes.
She won a fucking Oscar.
She won an Oscar, and yet she had the same amount of impact on that film as Nic Cage did in 45 seconds in this film. I'm not saying like
that we should be comparing a film about a paedophile priest.
It's just interesting how, depending on how the film is made, different sort of how actors bring their fucking strangeness to that film can win you an Oscar or make you look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but time in a film, like, who is it that said there are no small parts, only small actors. Like that could, like, if it was anyone else, that could have been such an insignificant character in that film.
Yeah.
But he makes an impact just because he's clearly just turned up and just he's just been told, "Here's your money, do what you want," and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go full Cage on this."
Right, Face Off.
Face Off, yeah, it's
That's
a
not
film.
us going back to what this episode is about.
No.
We're talking about Daniel's List.
It's a film I've enjoyed for a number of years. Like, it's, as I said, I've got one complaint with the film, and that's that we've not got enough of Nick as Castor. I'm not saying we should have a spin-off, but we should have a spin-off.
Spin-off for goddamn
Of just Castor Troy, because
Yeah,
if there's if it's anything like that first scene where you see him and he's head banging to Hallelujah and groping up choir ladies, then it'll be a wild ride.
Like a prequel, and it ends with
I mean, it could be his descent into the criminal / terrorist underworld.
It ends
I want a highlight reel
of everything he's done.
Cageism as that character.
I would just be very happy with an end scene bit when these movies would end. It's like a fucking file gets put on a desk and they're like, "This is your job now." And who's behind the fucking desk? A really bad CGI younger version of fucking what's his face?
Sean Archer, John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta. Because you know every time.
Oh, like a Irishman.
Yeah, like that.
Oh god, that film! Like, I've
The
got
ending's really good in that.
I've got so many opinions about that film. Like, I have never got to the end of a film before and regretted spending
Nah,
4
the end of
hours
that
watching
film
it so
is,
much.
I understand some of the gripes
Fucking
throughout
hell.
it, but the end is fantastic.
Like Robert,
Like the character stuff at the end, that's great.
it's good, but I think that the fact that take a film that another De Niro film, The Godfather. So they obviously they didn't have the technology at the time to make Marlon Brando, The Godfather 2. So they didn't have the technology to make Marlon Brando look really young. So they got another guy to play. So they got another guy to play Vito Corleone, which was Robert De Niro. Right. I feel like I wish they'd done that because they'd obviously spent so much time and effort. The visual effects artists making them look young. And then the actors took absolutely no time whatsoever to improve their physicality at all. I get that they're old men, but it was just fucking embarrassing. Like that scene where he throws a guy through the window and curb stomps him is one of the worst pieces of acting I've ever seen. And that's from Robert fucking De Niro.
Well, Al Pacino did Dunkachino, so we can't really blame him.
Nah, I think I give him more of a break for Dunkachino than I give Robert De Niro for The Irishman.
Right.
Number 2.
Yeah, well, I have to too.
Face Off.
Face Off?
Gone in 60 seconds.
Face Off again.
Yeah. What?
Face Off.
Yeah, Face
I
Off.
said Face Off.
Oh, did you say Face Off as well?
We've matched twice.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I've got Gone in 60 seconds.
You do?
See, for me, that's definitely a film that I will be hungover as fuck at one point and just think, I'm sick and Gone in 60 seconds.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
I like it. Like, Fast and Furious, I've never had a great attachment to that. I think it's really a trash action series. But, like, maybe if they'd done a similar thing with Gone in 60 Seconds, I wouldn't like it so much. But I think it's since it's just a one-off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just really like it, and it's got one of my favourite like cages and bits in Gone in 60 Seconds. That bit where he's where they're playing Lowrider.
I hate it.
Right before they.
I wanted to dance. I want to see Nic Cage dancing.
Right before
they
they
dance sequence there. It would have been so good.
Right before they go out, he's just sort of getting in the zone and he goes, "Let's go."
I understand you. I remember you guys were saying he's dancing in his head, but I'm like, no, I want to see Nic Cage dance.
Really.
I've not seen him dance. I want to see him bust some moves. Be fucking great. Anyway, Face Off.
Face Off. I put it higher than Never on Tuesday because he's in it for a lot longer. Fucking hell. Face Off in general.
Are we going to explain what just happened?
No. You Face Off.
Face Off. As much as I talk shit about it in terms of like action sequences, which aren't bad, there's just too many of them.
Yeah.
And in terms of the most annoys, the only thing that really annoys me in the film is the stunt doubles, how nothing alike they are to the actors. And the movie itself is quite enjoyable.
I think it's so weird and just so fucking off the wall and wonderful and a great like campy action film like the 80s John Carpenter action films or something. It's reminiscent of that, like because Con Air came out the same year as Face Off, another brilliant campy action film, and The Rock came out the year before. So that was like his holy triumph. It's like that Jim Carrey, The Mask, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber. Same year, it's similar to that. But fucking Face Off is so many cageisms, so many just weird fucking moments. And like I think they both do a really good job of pretending to be the other. And there's that brilliant scene in it which I love is when they're having the shootout in the drug den, and they both turn and point at each other through the mirror, but they're both looking at each other. And obviously they've swapped bodies and they're looking at the person they hate in the mirror. I think that's a great scene, great shot.
And class actually really really good cinematography.
It's great. It's great.
It's brilliant.
You're saying everything without saying anything at all, which is what good film does. Is through its shots.
And one thing that I think Face Off does really well is manage to turn this sort of when when John Travolta, when Sean Archer wakes up from the surgery as Castor Troy, turns this really heartbreaking moment where he has been turned into the killer of his own son. And managed to make it so fucking memeable, where he's going, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
I think it actually like works quite well in the scene. Maybe not. It is memeable. Definitely out of context, it's very memeable. Like him punching like a woman in a bear costume.
Oh, that shit
I
is
think
good.
it links quite directly to. We watched Mandy on a podcast we never did. Have you seen Mandy, Kieran?
No, I'm not.
I'm getting a
There's
tattoo.
Brilliant scene in Mandy. I won't say the context, but Nic Cage smashes up a bathroom completely. It's like it's
In his underwear.
a room wreckage scene, like a classic room wreckage scene, and he does it so fucking well. He did brilliant. Puts fucking everything into it. It's like fucking Orson Welles in whatever fucking film he did where he trashes the room. It's like the first room trashing scene.
To me, it was reminiscent of Michael Sheen in the beginning of Apocalypse Now, where he smashes the mirror and like rubs the blood on himself. I think it was fucking brilliant acting.
Mandy, man, I want to watch.
He was just so unhinged.
Mandy's great. A lot of the most recent, other than Kill Chain, a lot of the recent Nic Cage ones have been good, including hopefully Renfield.
And there's a specific shot from Mandy that I'm getting tattooed on me. It's when he's in the car and he slowly looks round to the camera where he's covered in blood and goo, and it's just like,
Jesus,
really unhinged.
Don't get
with it.
faces tattooed on your
I'm gonna go to a really good portrait
You gotta pay a
artist.
lot of money, like Jesus.
I will do that. I will dedicate my whole fucking leg just to Nicolas Cage faces.
Okay, hopefully it turns out well. Right, John.
Number 1.
Lord of War.
Yeah,
I've got Lord of War as well.
I got Never on Tuesday.
Oh.
I don't disagree with that.
No,
I think I just took
Never
into
on
account
Tuesday,
how
10,
little
10.
screen time he had. Like, it would have been further up there. But I just Lord of War for me was just fucking great.
Very good.
It was a character that I like got behind, despite the fact that he's
A gun dealer.
yeah, he's doing horrible shit, but he's a
Chargers come out.
he's from an immigrant family. He's not had the easiest lot in life, and then lies and manages to get a woman that he has longed for years, then treats her like shit. Like I love watching the descent, like how good it gets for him, and then just the fucking steep decline. He just goes off a cliff. And Lord of War is great, love it. I've recommended it to a couple of people. Lord of War is brilliant.
Not much. Just it's one of those characters that you, as soon as he comes on the scene, you're kind of like, as soon as he's on the screen. Same with Jared Leto. As much as I don't like Jared Leto and his brother in it is a bit but even Nicolas Cage's character in it and Jared Leto's character, they're both characters that you enjoy seeing where they're going. Even when Jared Leto eventually becomes like a fucking coke addict. And Nicolas Cage is like looking for him, blah, 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 and that scene when he busting through him and he's like finding him. It's just he's a nice character to follow, and you like to see what's happening next.
It reminds me of like Jordan Belfort
Yes.
in Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
that
someone
kind
that's
of-
morally reprehensible, and you just want to see what
The
debauchery
film
they're doing next.
glamorizes it, but they don't. They're not glamorizing
No.
it. They're glamorizing it to prove a point of this sort of lifestyle is glamorized and is looked up to when it's actually pretty morally glamorizable and bad. It's bad.
So never on Tuesday.
I was blown away by Never on Tuesday. I was not knowing what to expect from it when I went into it, and I just thought it's one of these brilliant films that is destined to become like a cult classic. Like it's going to get discovered soon. What?
I think it's garbage.
Why do you think it's garbage?
Because I think I would have had it much higher on my list, and I think you would have as well.
My obligation against putting it not at number one was because he was only there for 5 seconds.
But out of enjoyment and things that I would go back to, that's up at the top of my list.
Why didn't you like it?
I'm terrible at saying why. But,
John will do a Twitter post when this episode comes out with his.
John will write an essay.
Yeah. A video essay.
2,000 words.
A bread tube video essay.
You say red tube?
Bread tube.
We're going to post it red tube.
A red tube video essay. I don't think John's up for that kind of thing.
I got the body pillow.
Pussy. Right. You don't want to say anything on Never on Tuesday?
I don't think I could enunciate why I don't like it.
Okay. I like it because it's fucking odd.
It's so bad.
It does a
crazy.
lot with I say a small budget. Obviously the budget went on Nicolas Cage, Gilbert Gottfried,
Charlie
Sheen, and the guy from
Charlie Sheen's brother, who's also in Cameron's fucking name.
the guy from Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
The police officer.
Isn't it Emilio Estevez?
They do so much with a really simple plot. I think Daniel, you compared it to Waiting for Godot, which is a pretty big praise. I've never
comparing
seen
it to fucking Samuel Beckett.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. It's
Why you
people
like it,
that
Jim?
are just people just in a place just talking about life, and I think the thing that it does that captures really well is just the inane conversations that people have.
Yeah.
When they're left alone.
Characters and it reveals them to be more than you thought they may be at first glance. But at that, this ends season 1 of Nicolas Cage International Treasure. I think.
I believe so. After 10 episodes,
we can discuss it more. But I think what we might do after releasing these 10 is release our other one. Yeah. For 10 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
We'll decide what we're doing.
Very
We'll let the masses decide.
if we've been releasing 2 episodes at a time during this, then you know that we didn't do that, and maybe we'll release our other one.
Yes.
Our other one. That for a couple of weeks, just to give ourselves a bit of a break between recording and editing and all that, and watching and gathering guests.
John doesn't want to be here every
He doesn't like us, especially after this week.
Yeah.
We gave him such a long break as well.
But yeah, next time,
if it's
join us for season 2, episode 1,
which would be 9mm, I believe.
8mm.
8mm.
One more.
Sorry.
But we will have one more, or possibly 2 more.
Possibly 2 more if he
With-
doesn't get sick again next
with
week.
a couple special guests. Scott and an unknown.
Unknown.
We don't know who the other one is.
I know none of these people.
Fuck knows.
The unknown is a very lovely man.
Thank you
He travelled the world recently.
Well, he will have some knowledge that he's
stories.
acquired through that.
He is also a graphic designer, which I'm reluctant to ask him to do our
Oh fuck it! No, I can't. He's coming on, and he.
Yeah, we'll accost him live on the podcast about doing our art and that whole lot. Thank you for joining us for 10 episodes of this. We love you very much. We hate you. We don't care about you, obviously.
We don't know you people at all. We don't care about your art.
Yeah, fuck off. Bye.
Twitching got me, snitching got me, making a fuss. Nigga got me bowled over, got me over his shoulder, got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Cage is an international treasure of ours, yeah. Oh, Nicolas Cage.
At least 4